The Valencia sky burned orange. The sun sank low. Long shadows stretched across El Carmen. Gray apartment towers stood tall. Lives stacked up inside narrow flats. Dreams often frayed there. A sound cut through the evening quiet. It was not a human cry. It was sharp. It was desperate. An animal yelp. It pleaded for life. Something terrible happened inside apartment 14B. Neighbors heard arguing. They heard a heavy thud. Some turned up their TV. Others ignored the sounds. Then a dark shape fell. It plunged through the air. It was not trash. It was not furniture. It was a young German shepherd. His coat was black and tan. His name was Maximus. He was thrown from a window, hurled like worthless garbage. The impact was brutal. He hit a dense hedge. It bordered the recycling bins. The green leaves offered little cushion. Concrete waited below. Bones snapped loudly. He did not bark. He did not whimper. He lay completely still. His eyes stayed wide open. They stared, unseeing. Shock filled them. Why? The question hung in the air. Leo saw him first. Leo was 9 years old. He held his mother Isabeller's hand. They walked towards the supermarket. The small, broken shape caught his eye. He dropped his mother's hand. He ran towards the dog. "Mommer, a dog over there," he cried out. His finger trembled as he pointed. Isabeller hurried after him. Her face went pale. Horror washed over her. She saw the broken animal. She pulled Leo back gently. She shielded his young eyes. She fumbled for her mobile phone. Her call was frantic. Her words tumbled out. Police sirens wailed soon. They arrived 17 minutes later. The veterinary emergency unit took longer. 10 more minutes passed. A small crowd had gathered by then. Neighbors stood watching. Their faces showed shock. Some showed morbid curiosity. Others felt only pity. Murmurs spread through the group. "He must be dead. How barbaric. Poor creature." "Doctor." Alina Vance arrived. She led the veterinary team. She knelt beside the still dog. The crowd grew silent. Everyone held their breath. Alina pressed fingers to his chest. Her brow furrowed. She searched for life. Then she looked up. Her voice was clear. It cut through the tension. "He's alive." 2 simple words. They sparked like electricity. Maximus breathed. His breaths were shallow. They were ragged. One leg lay twisted. It bent at a sickening angle. Blood matted his muzzle. An eye was swollen shut. But he was breathing. That single, fragile act mattered. It ignited something in the crowd. Hope flickered. Compassion stirred. Even the police officer seemed shaken. The dog's owner was found. His name was Victor. He was 43. He had a history of disturbances. Police arrested him that night. His statement was chilling. He showed no remorse. He said Maximus became aggressive. He called the dog dangerous. He said he simply didn't want him anymore. His words felt empty. The awful truth remained. Maximus was thrown from 14 stories, thrown away like trash. Maximus was rushed to Haven Veterinary Clinic. It was a non-profit place. They took difficult cases. The initial assessment was devastating. Multiple spinal fractures, a shattered rear leg, internal bleeding, a collapsed lung. The prognosis was very grim. Could he survive 48 hours? Nobody knew for sure. He lay in a sterile white room. Machines beeped around him. Tubes connected him to life. Alina watched over him closely. She had seen terrible cruelty before, but this case felt different. The fall, the dog's will to live, it struck her deeply. "How could anyone do this?" she whispered. She gently stroked his head, avoided the bandages. In that quiet room, something happened. Alina cleaned a wound near his ear. Maximus felt the gentle touch. It was not her hand raised to harm. The very tip of his tail twitched. It was barely noticeable, a tiny flicker, but it was enough. Alina saw it. This dog was not giving up. Her resolve hardened. "We're going to fight for you, okay, boy?" she whispered. Her own eyes felt wet. "We'll fight." News spread quickly online. Shaky phone footage circulated. Images of the broken dog shocked people. #Justice for Maximus started trending. Messages flooded the clinic. People offered donations. They asked to adopt him. They sent words of encouragement. Maximus didn't know it, but the world was watching. Compassion was growing. Alina sifted through the messages. One caught her attention. It felt different. It was from Daniel Asher. He was 50 years old. He lived alone in Castelfabib, a small village in the mountains. He was a former firefighter. A spinal injury forced his retirement. His message was short. It was deeply sincere. I can't promise much, but I know what it's like to fall, to feel broken, to want to give up. If Maximus survives, I'd like to meet him. Alina didn't reply yet. Maximus was still critical. The next 72 hours were vital, but she saved Daniel's message. It felt like a small seed, waiting for fertile ground. The veterinary team faced hard choices. More surgery might help mobility, but the risks were very high. His spine was badly damaged. Permanent paralysis was likely. Should they consider euthanasia? Quality of life was paramount. We can't let emotions rule, the specialist said. He pointed at the x-rays. And paralyzed animals don't deserve life, Alina challenged. Her voice was sharp. Silence filled the room. They knew she was right, but they also knew the reality. Special care, constant rehabilitation, total dependence. Could Maximus endure that? Could they provide it? Just then Maximus stirred. He slowly opened his eyes. It was the first time since the fall. He made no sound. He looked straight at Alina. She knelt beside him. She gently took his bandaged paw. Maximus closed his eyes again. He sighed softly. It felt like peace. It felt like trust. I trust you. His look seemed to say it. That decided it. We fight, Alina stated firmly. If he's not giving up, neither are we. The following days were intense. Maximus underwent a second surgery. It was long and complex. Titanium plates repaired his hip. Surgeons stabilized his spine. Would he ever walk again? The question remained unanswered, but hope grew stronger. Alina spent time with Maximus daily. She talked to him softly. She told him stories. She played calming music. She read messages aloud, messages of support from strangers. And every day, she read Daniel Asher's words. It was her way of telling Maximus, "You are not alone." On the fourth day, something wonderful happened. Alina entered his room. Maximus was awake. She called his name. He turned his head towards her, his eyes focused. Then his tail thumped the bedding. Once, twice, a clear, deliberate movement. He did it, Alina cried out. Tears filled her eyes. He hears us, he recognizes us. It felt like a breakthrough, a definite sign. Maximus was coming back. The road ahead was still long. Tests confirmed severe nerve damage. Months, maybe years, of therapy lay ahead. Full mobility seemed impossible. But his spirit shone brighter, pain mixed with trust in his eyes. It spoke more than any prognosis. Another message arrived from Daniel Asher. I'm prepared to travel to Valencia. Not to adopt, not yet, just to see him, to let him know there are humans who pick up, not throw away. Humans who wait, not abandon. Could Maximus trust another human? After such a deep betrayal, Alina wondered. The answer waited. Not in words, but perhaps in a shared look. Between two broken souls, Daniel Asher stepped off the bus. His backpack felt heavy. His heart pounded. He rarely traveled now. His back injury was a constant ache. Each step was a reminder of the life he lost. He carried physical scars. He carried invisible ones too. He stood outside Haven Veterinary Clinic. Sign read, "Where the suffering find sanctuary." He took a deep breath. He pushed the door open. "Doctor." Alina Vance waited. She saw the quiet strength in his eyes. She recognized the name. His messages had touched her. "Thank you for coming, Mr. Asher," she said. Her handshake was firm. "Daniel, please," he replied. "Thank you, doctor, for everything." Alina led him to the care unit. Maximus rested quietly. He could stand briefly with a harness, but mostly he lay down. Daniel stopped 10 feet away. He didn't want to intrude. He just watched the dog. Maximus watched him back. His eyes were deep. They were intelligent, assessing. No growl, no fear, just focused curiosity. Daniel slowly lowered himself. Pain flared in his back. He ignored it. He knelt on the cool floor. He opened his backpack. He took out a small blanket. It was blue plaid, faded and worn soft. He unfolded it gently. He placed it near Maximus. "This came with me on rescues," Daniel said softly. His voice was a bit rough. "It's old, but it's warm. Thought you might like it near." Maximus hesitated. Then, slowly, he turned his head. His nose twitched. He sniffed the air. With great effort, he dragged himself forward. Just a few inches, towards the blanket, towards the man. Alina watched from the doorway. She held her breath. It was more than comfort. It was a choice, a small step towards trust. A lump formed in Daniel's throat. "I get it, Maximus," he whispered. The name felt right. I broke too, still trying to put the pieces back together. Daniel visited every afternoon. He sat quietly nearby. Sometimes he read the newspaper aloud. His voice was calm and steady. Sometimes he talked about Castelfabib, the quiet village life, the scent of wood smoke, the wind in the trees. Maximus listened silently, as if finding it hard to believe. This human brought peace, not pain. Alina made notes. Maximus shows reduced anxiety with Daniel. Appetite improves during visits. Respiration calmer. Hearing Daniel's voice, a connection was forming. Silent, powerful. One day, Daniel arrived with something new. A canine wheelchair. It was used but clean. Adapted for Maximus's size. He'd found it through a rescue contact. "Maybe we could try this," he asked Alina. He sounded nervous, hopeful. Alina looked at him. Her eyes shone. "You're doing so much for him, Daniel." Daniel looked down. "I was thrown out too, Alina," he admitted quietly. "Not from a window, but from a life I loved. It took years to stop feeling like trash. Maybe helping him helps me too." The first wheelchair attempt was chaos. Maximus didn't understand. He nipped the wheels. He whined. He struggled. Daniel stayed calm. "Easy, boy," he soothed. "Just a little walk together." Slowly, patiently, they practiced. Day after day, step by tentative step, Maximus began to understand. The wheels offered freedom. His front legs grew stronger. They learned to pull the cart. His tail started lifting more often. It even wagged sometimes. When he saw Daniel arrive, the light returned to his eyes. One evening, Daniel stroked his back. "When you're ready, Maximus," he said softly. "I'd like to take you home." Maximus looked up at him. Then he barked. His first bark since the fall. It was deep. It was resonant. Not fear, not distress. It sounded like acceptance. But obstacles remained. Victor, the man who hurt him, wanted him back. He filed a legal claim. He cited temporary mental health issues. He claimed an effective bond. The Spanish legal system was complex. Animal cruelty laws had loopholes. Public outrage might not be enough. They might give him back. Daniel asked Alina. Disbelief choked his voice. "There's no decision yet," Alina said grimly. "But we must prepare. We have to fight this." Tension filled the clinic. An official inspection occurred. Reports were reviewed. Maximus was evaluated again. This time by a court behaviorist. With Daniel, Maximus was relaxed, trusting, tail wagging. But when the stern inspector approached, Maximus growled low. He backed away slightly. Distrust flared in his eyes, could indicate instability. The inspector noted coolly. "He's showing memory," Daniel retorted. He controlled his anger, not aggression. The news broke. Maximus's abuser demands dog's return. Public fury surged again, but pressure mounted on the clinic too. Maximus sensed the change. He withdrew again, ate less, slept more. Daniel felt helpless watching him fade. He spent hours beside him, talking of Castelfabib, of safety, of peace. Bad news arrived. The hearing in 3 days, Alina told Daniel. Her face was pale. The judge decides temporary custody. Daniel felt a sharp pain in his back, an old ache. He knelt by Maximus. "We've come too far, boy," he vowed. "We don't give up now." That night, Daniel wrote a letter. Not for the judge, for Maximus. He poured his heart onto the paper. "You look at me like no one else. I swear, Maximus, if they take you, I won't stop fighting. You've saved me more than I've saved you." He left the letter on the blue blanket. Maximus later rested his head upon it. The hearing day dawned gray. Daniel entered the courthouse. His steps were slow but firm. He carried reports, photos, hope. Victor sat across the room. His lawyer argued for a second chance. Daniel spoke simply. He spoke of humanity. "This dog was thrown 14 stories, he said. His voice was quiet, full of conviction. He survived by sheer will. Now they want to throw him away again. With legal papers, I won't let them." He looked at the judge. Maybe he should testify. As if understanding, Maximus acted. He pushed himself from his wheelchair. Pain etched his face. He dragged his hind legs. He leaned his body firmly against Daniel's leg. A collective gasp filled the room. The judge observed them. She adjourned without ruling. She needed time. Hope felt fragile. Then another blow. An anonymous envelope arrived, addressed to Alina. Inside, a USB drive, a note. "You should know who he really is." Alina watched the video. Security footage. 7 years old, a fire station. A younger Daniel, shouting, throwing a chair. Sounds of a distressed dog. Documents confirmed it. Expulsion for mistreating a canine unit. During an anxiety attack, Alina felt sick. Was Daniel's kindness a facade? Could he hurt Maximus? Doubt gnawed at her. She confronted him the next day. She laid out the evidence. Daniel didn't deny it. Shame washed over his face. "Yes," he whispered. "It's true." He explained the dark time, the breakdown, losing control, hurting the dog, leaving the force, years of therapy, volunteering anonymously, trying to heal, to ensure it never happened again. Maximus, he felt like a chance. Daniel choked out, a chance to finally do something right. His honesty was raw, painful. Just then, Maximus wheeled himself between them. He nudged Daniel's hand. He rested his head on Daniel's knee, a silent defense. The story leaked. Headlines changed. Maximus's savior also faced abuse charges. The public was divided. Another court summons arrived. The judge wanted Daniel and Maximus present for a final observation. "She wants to see his reaction to you," Alina said. "We'll go," Daniel stated. His resolve hardened. Let Maximus speak for himself. The courtroom buzzed. Reporters filled the seats. Daniel entered calmly. Maximus moved beside him in his chair. The faded blue blanket draped over his back. The judge watched them. "Mr. Asher," she asked, "why should Maximus stay with you?" Daniel knelt. He looked Maximus in the eyes. Then he faced the judge. "Because we're the same," he said softly. "Broken, scarred, finding our way back. He doesn't need a perfect human. He needs one who understands falling, and who will never, ever let him go." Then Maximus did something stunning. He pushed himself fully out of the chair. With immense effort, he dragged his hind legs across the floor. He reached Daniel. He pressed his body close. He looked up with pure devotion. Silence fell. The judge lowered her gaze. She adjourned the court. The final decision wasn't immediate, but something had shifted. A week later, the official papers arrived. A smiling clerk handed them over. "Congratulations," she said to Alina, glancing at Maximus. "He's officially his." Relief flooded the clinic. Daniel stood speechless. Maximus sensed the joy. His tail thumped wildly. They had won. It was a beginning. Daniel took Maximus home that weekend. The clinic staff said emotional goodbyes. Alina hugged Maximus tightly. "You're the bravest soul, Maximus," she whispered. "Thank you." The drive to Castelfabib was quiet, peaceful. They arrived at Daniel's small stone house. Clean mountain air filled their lungs. Maximus explored his new territory. He sniffed every corner. He seemed to know he was finally home. An orthopedic bed waited. A ramp helped him inside. "Your kingdom now, boy," Daniel murmured. Life settled into a gentle rhythm. Morning walks on forest paths, quiet afternoons by the fire, shared meals, shared silence, shared healing. Nightmares still came sometimes, for both of them, but they faced the darkness together. Sophia, the neighbor girl, visited often. Her bright presence helped. Her drawing of flying Maximus hung proudly. Alina visited one day. She saw Maximus moving confidently, using his chair less. Happiness shone in his eyes and in Daniel's. "You're both happy," she observed. "We are," Daniel confirmed. Spring arrived early. Wildflowers bloomed. One sunny morning, Daniel pruned trees. He heard a bark, stronger, deeper. He turned. His breath caught. Maximus was walking. No wheels, no harness. His steps were clumsy, unsteady, but he walked across the grass towards Daniel, pure determination on his face. "Maximus," Daniel cried out. Tears streamed down his face. "You're doing it." Maximus reached him. He flopped down happily, panting, grinning. Daniel knelt, overwhelmed. He hugged his incredible dog. Later, he wrote, "He walked today. By sheer will, he taught me how to stand up again." Their story continued to inspire. They attended a rescue event. Daniel shared their journey. Maximus stood beside him, a symbol of hope. "We were thrown away," Daniel said, "but we weren't finished. He taught me it doesn't matter how hard you fall. What matters is who helps you get back up." Years passed. Daniel and Maximus lived quietly in Castelfabib. Their bond deepened, their scars faded. They walked under the stars. One night, Daniel spoke softly. "If you could talk, boy," he said, "I'd ask if you forgave me." Maximus stopped. He looked up. He pressed his muzzle gently into Daniel's hand. Understanding flowed between them. Forgiveness wasn't the point. Love was, loyalty was, never letting go. That was everything. They had found their way together.